Welcome to Unleash. Get your life jacket on and come with me on a journey as I single-handedly save Star Wars.
Welcome to Unleashed. And don't forget to join us on Patreon for early access and exclusive content. Here are the guys.
Welcome to Unleash. Last week I tried to fix it. Today I'm going to save it. Let's talk about Star Wars. You are here because I'm guessing you like Star Wars.
Yep.
You have liked it for probably a very long time, maybe a week.
Oh.
And maybe a year, maybe 40 years, maybe 50 years, whatever it is. Welcome here. Give us a like and a subscribe. If you're new, click that subscribe button, ding the bell. We talk about Star Wars on this channel all the time. We got videos, long form happening, podcast style. Anyway, going to save this disaster of a franchise.
It's a disaster!
I'm going to start off by just saying the stupidest thing I can. Stop spending $1 bazillion on a TV show. Wow. That's how you're going to save it. Stop spending $300 million on the Acolyte. When the show, look, I know it's all subjective. So I know people like the Acolyte. I'm not targeting them and putting them down. That's control. You are allowed to like it. I'm going to talk about stuff that I like, Book of Boba Fett, that other people didn't like. It's fair enough. The reality is it cost $300 million for no reason. The show did not look like it cost $300 million. It didn't look better than any of the other shows that we had. Andor is the closest one budget-wise, and Andor looked miles and miles and miles and miles and miles better than the Acolyte. Look, when you start spending that much money on what you're getting, on a Disney Plus show, you just can't make your money back, especially when it's low quality. Where did the money go? Nobody knows. Somebody was embezzling. 100% somebody was embezzling from that show, because there is no way in hell that exists in Star Wars canon that much money was put into that show legally.
I know I'm the new man here, but I don't think you hired me just to sit around and look pretty.
Like, it just doesn't look very good. There's a lot of missing in that show. And the writing, for instance, hire writers that can write. That would be the go-to. Look, I know there was a lot of talk because there were writers in the writer's room that had never seen Star Wars, that didn't know Star Wars. Now, I don't think that's an issue. The issue would be if they were the ones making the decisions about Star Wars. You know, if someone is like, I want to bake a cake, and you're like, but you don't know how to bake a cake, and they're like, well, I'm going to teach you how to bake one now. That's not going to work because they don't even know how to start baking a cake. I'm talking about Star Wars as a cake. So you have to get rid of that.
That doesn't make any sense.
Budget is just insane to me, what they spent on this thing and what you get from it. I think this is leading into my first point. A singular vision is required. And I am somewhat in a belief system right now that we'll be getting that on some aspect. And I think part of what's worked-ish with the Mandoverse is that we've gotten that for the most part, right? Because we had Mando, Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and Skeleton Crew's coming. And am I missing something? Kenobi was kind of in there, but not really in there. I think the issue is when you start hearing that notes were being dropped down for high up, right? I think season 1 was they were kind of on their own doing what they wanted to do. Season 2, they're like, well, what if we had spin-off shows? And then season 3, there was a lot of reports saying that Favreau wasn't happy, that, he was being told to go in one direction, he wanted to go in another. So things like that. Now, according to Giancarlo Esposito from Dragon Con, they're taking the direction of The Mandalorian somewhere else. They were going to do season 4, and now it's a movie. I'm hoping this means they're giving him more free range to do what he wants to do, to tell a complete story. I enjoy season 3 of The Mandalorian. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as 2 or 1. Maybe I enjoyed it as much. Who knows? But that's besides the point. My point is that it was actually one big, long, epic story. It wasn't a television show. That should have been a movie. I think it would have played a lot better. I think it does. If you binge that show, I believe it plays a lot better. They need to get to that. But I think a singular vision is crucial for saving Star Wars. And you're having that with the Mandoverse. Favreau, Filoni, okay, it's 2 people, but it's basically that one vision, right? Going straight through. They're seeing it through. So now we're going to get that. That's probably going to lead up to the Dave Filoni Avengers style movie.
And I'm all for it.
We'll probably get, Ahsoka season 2 will probably dive a little bit deeper into the lore. And that's what we need. Continue the lore that we love, which is something I'm going to get back to later. But you continue on this trajectory. You and then you can string us along, and we believe that you have an idea of what you're doing, of what your plan is, of what your end goal is. If I go into a movie and I don't think you know how it's going to end, and then it ends in a place that I'm like, you didn't know where it was going to go. I'm talking about you, sequel trilogy. That's when you start losing a lot of fans. You start losing them when you show. It's not because you're making it up as you go along, because I think you could do that. I think George Lucas did that. I think J.K. Rowling did that. I've said that a million times. I think you can make things up as you go along, but you kind of have to know where it's going. You have to know where the train stops. And if you don't know where the train stops, you just look like an idiot going where you're going. Because now The Last Jedi, which, it's very split, but the people who love it, the arguments for why they love it, it's like a lot of them are like, but ultimately it went nowhere. Ultimately, it went nowhere. And the people who hate it, now they're like, wow, I see, it didn't go anywhere. I was right. Da, da, da. So, these are part of the division. It's not the whole thing. I'm not saying that. Let's not get into that. But that's part of it. I think you need a singular vision. You have to, just tell one cohesive story. I think the Mandalorian Grogu movie is a great way to start this off, because you start there and you make that one friggin' movie. And people are like, I like that movie. Hopefully they say I like that movie. And then from there, you make the next movie. And then the next movie. And then you stop saying that it's a trilogy. Stop saying that it's the Skywalker saga or the Mandalorian saga or the Mandoverse saga or whatever. Stop that crap right now. Just stop it. Just stop it. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I know you think they cared, but they didn't care. You know what they care about? They care about the name Star Wars, and they care about the quality that comes with that brand, the quality that used to come with that brand. Most people felt came with that brand, because I know there are a lot of people that like the new stuff, and there's a lot of people who don't like the new stuff. And we talked about that a bit last week on how to fix it. And that's a big problem, is this fan divide, because the fans aren't even really divided on I hate Star Wars completely. It's I hate Disney Star Wars or I love Disney Star Wars. And somewhat how you have to get them to meet in the middle. And that's going to be a little problematic, but it's not problematic. It's not problematic if you stick with the lore. If you stick with the messages and the continuity that everybody loves. There's a lot of lore building within Star Wars, a lot of themes in Star Wars, and that is ultimately what we come for. That is what the fans visit Star Wars for. We don't show up for the explosions. We love that crap, but it's the lore, the mythology, and the themes. That's why we're here.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
We want to watch Han Solo and Luke go to rescue Leia, but then turns out Leia has to rescue them, and then they leave, and then Han's like, I'm out of here, kid. We love that. But we love when Han comes back as well. We love the stuff that we've learned about the Jedi. We love all of these aspects of it. And when you start playing around with it and you start shifting it and changing it and starting to do what you want to do with it, you own it, you can do it, but don't get mad when people leave. When people are like, this isn't for me anymore, and they jettison off. Don't be mad at that. You got to stick with the lore. You got to continue the themes that brought people in to begin with. Don't change them up. Don't try to be something that you're not. Be Star Wars. At the end of the day, Star Wars is Star Wars. That being said, you got to do something fresh and new. It has to be something fresh and new. You have to do a new take on it. And I think George Lucas obviously was great at doing that. And people hated it. People hated it when he did it. We forget that they hated it now because it's easy to pretend that everybody loved the prequels, but everybody hated it. Everybody hated it. He said he wanted to do stuff fresh and new. He wanted to keep progressing the technology forward and the stories forward. He didn't want to go back and do all the retro stuff. And now we're stuck in this retro time. But I'm okay with that, because if that means we get first more Star Wars, but if that also means that we can use these new characters to take us to the future of this galaxy far, far away, I'm fine with that, because it doesn't look, this Rey movie might come out. It might not come out. I have no idea what's going on with it. I would love to see this. I want to see where we are after the sequels, right? I want to see where we are in that time period and beyond. But I think you have to get away from, like George Lucas said, though, the old stuff, because The Force Awakens brought us right back to the original trilogy. I would like to see these movies in the future kind of be somewhere between the prequels and the sequels, and the original trilogy, somewhere between the prequels and the original trilogy, where technology is like heightened. It doesn't look like the 70s still. It looks a little bit probably 90s, but you're getting somewhere else. I would like to see that. Put us in that era. What is the future of it? We don't have to always be in 1970s. The haircuts can change. Things can change. The eras can change and evolve, and the characters can go with it. And if the Mandoverse movie, I already put it in a box. I already failed. I can't save Star Wars if I can't save myself.
Gotcha.
If the Mandoverse can do that, then I'm all in. Take it forward, but it's got to be the singular vision. Like, what is the plan? If we are leading to Filoni's movie, and Favreau can help get us there, then get us there. But if it's going to be like, here's a note, do this, do that, and all of a sudden it's a cluster muck of epic proportions, once again, you're dividing the fans because you're going to lose a lot of them. And then the fans, look, there are fans, and I know they get harped on, but there are fans that just love all things Star Wars. Everything Star Wars they love. And honestly, that shouldn't be a negative. That shouldn't be seen as a negative. If someone loves something, they love it. That's fine. No, they can't. I don't think they. I think they should recognize. If something's not very good, you can recognize it. Like there are things I love. I am after this. I'm going to watch Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, which is a great movie. I shouldn't say it's not a great movie, but I love that movie to death. Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunter. There are movies that I love that I know what they are when I watch it. I know what they are. I know what Batman v Superman is. I know what Batman and Robin is. Trust me, I know. But I watch it and I love it, and I really don't care. But I'm not going to say, "Oh, you're an idiot for not liking it." I understand, and not everything is for everybody, which is also totally 100% fair. And I think we have to understand that and move on. But a singular vision get us to where we're going. And the thing is, if they're going to produce as much content as they're going to do, which is something I don't think they should do, but they're going to. And I know they're slash back to one show a year on Disney Plus. But the minute a show's a hit, that'll change. 100% that'll change. But I think they need to just reel it in and focus on quality over quantity. But because I also believe that if you focus on quality over quantity, eventually your story will be so fleshed out that you can have more quality at once. Your quality and your quantity can blend together.
Will it blend?
And become one. But you have to plan it out. If you think about this, if they sat in a room honestly, if they sat in a room and they're like, here's the next only 5 years. Here's the next 5 years of Star Wars. We're going to start with Thrawn, and then we're going to end with the Grisk. We go Thrawn, Grisk. Now, you know where it's going to lead to. So now you could do a ton of stories in that 5 years with little nuggets that get you there. At least you know where it's leading to. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to know where you're leading to.
Whose car are we going to take?
That's all you need. You just need to know what's over here. Once you know what's over here, I'm going to go along with you on this ride. Now, I might not like this part of the ride. I might not like that part. I might like the loop-de-loop, but I'm not going to like the straight or the drop. You know what I mean? But I know I know there's a destination. You don't even have to tell me the destination is the Grisk. I just need to know that you know that it's going somewhere and you're dropping little hints. And then guess what? And then I can come on this YouTube channel site thing and we can all be like, is it leading to the Grisk? Is it leading to the Yuzon Vong? Is it leading to Abeloth? What's it leading to? It's leading to something. And we can all have so much fun again, which is really what's the heart of Star Wars, is having fun.
Eminem, are you having fun?
You can subvert our expectations all you want, Ryan Johnson, but it's about the fun. And that's what it is. It's about creating conversation. And look, I hate positive Star Wars, but it's positive conversation. That's what it is, right? You can, like, I had a conversation earlier today about the Joker 2. Somebody didn't like it. I liked it. And I wasn't an argument. We just had a conversation about what we liked and what we didn't like about it. And that's what Star Wars should be. And then it could be the theory stuff. Like, oh, it would be really cool if X and Y, and then this and Y, and that's why. And you have to bring that back. People have to be excited to bring that back. And I will tell you, based on videos I have done over on Digital Charcuterie, people want, they are eager for the theory stuff. I did a bunch last year for Mandalorian Season 3, which was a season people said they didn't like, but those videos did quite well on that small channel. They did well. People watch it. They want to talk about it. They want engagement. I think Mandalorian did a very good job of that. I think Acolyte not so much. And I think Obi-Wan kind of did, but Mandalorian's been the strongest of them all. I think Ahsoka also did pretty well until the end, when you're like, oh, all my stuff they just stopped that thing. Maybe stop doing that. Maybe stop doing that. But with the singular vision is you can't just have one director doing Star Wars all the time. Even George Lucas didn't do Star Wars all the time. What I really want to bring up is I think they need to have Favreau, Filoni. I'm going to say Favreau, Filoni, but we can put an asterisk. It doesn't have to be them. It has to be somebody with a strong understanding of Star Wars, a strong passion for Star Wars, but somebody who is in tune, inept, and able to understand the lore mythology and themes of Star Wars above all else. Not characters, but the themes, because that all comes with having the understanding of what Star Wars is truly about. When you have that figurehead up there, and I'm going to say now Kathleen Kennedy is the head of Lucasfilm, and we have to say that that's a separate position from what I'm talking about. We need somebody that has an understanding. Now, I guess you could have different groups be like this storyline, that storyline, that storyline. If you want to play like that, I don't really know, but I would just do one. And then from there, because The Mandalorian, they've crushed it with the Mandoverse with doing this. The directors that they've brought in for the Mandoverse have all been brilliant. Everyone's crying for Bryce Dallas Howard to get a movie, Rick Famuyiwa to get a movie. At least I am for both of them. And the thing is, they're just doing like what they're basically told. I think they're getting a little more autonomy to do it, but they're part of that group. They're part of that clique now. And I really think having them in the fold already is a massive win for Lucasfilm, for Disney Lucasfilm right now. It's a massive win. And I don't understand how they haven't utilized them more, because you have Favreau, Filoni, Mandoverse stuff. They clearly have ideas for Star Wars that they love and they want to continue on with. You have a great group of directors working within them. Even on Skeleton Crew, the people coming in Skeleton Crew, phenomenal stuff. But they're all understanding Star Wars. So you put them all together in that box. And now you have your pyramid scheme. You have your pyramid, right? Your top, your directors are next. Then you have, your cast is next. And what cast do you have? You already have your Mandalorian cast here. So you have like a very strong foundation that I don't think, aside from Mandalorian stuff, I don't think the Ahsoka side of like the Rebels crew, I don't think Rebels crew, Skeleton Crew, we haven't got there yet, but I don't think they've been utilized strong enough yet. We haven't been exposed to them enough. But Baylan and Shin we have. You have a foundation of characters that are like new characters that audience have gravitated to. And, they might not have loved Boba Fett. They might not have loved Mandalorian season 3, whatever, but they've gravitated to these new characters for the most part. So now we need to see more of them, expand them. Let the audience know what their role is in the galaxy and who they are. Give us a little bit more understanding on Sabine and Ezra, because they just kind of came in. And if you haven't seen Rebels, I don't think they did a good enough job to flesh those characters out. I love them in Ahsoka, but I'm watching it. My wife was like, I don't have any interest in this. She walked away. I have friends who said, I never watched the stuff they're from. I'm not that interested. I'm not invested in Ahsoka. I think you need to flesh these characters up because they are strong characters. But if general audiences don't know that, it doesn't matter. But you have a foundation there. So you utilize those characters. Also, you have Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, and I think Natalie Portman mentioned she wanted to come back. You have actors willing to come back to Star Wars. So you can utilize old Clone Wars stuff, put them in Ahsoka. You could do a Clone Wars spin-off show from Ahsoka, all part of the Mandoverse. It's all part of the Star Wars universe, but it could be in that reign. You could do so much with it. All these people want to come back. They all want to be a part of Star Wars. They are coming back. They are being a part of it. Utilize them, but utilize them in a way that fans will gravitate to. Because Obi-Wan, I think Obi-Wan was filled with great stuff, but at the end of the day, it didn't stick the landing for me because it was focused too much on. It was unfocused, is what it was, which is what a lot of the Star Wars has been. It's been unfocused. Mandalorian worked the best when it was focused on here's Mando, here's Baby Yoda. Keep Baby Yoda safe. Streamline the ideas. When you're all over the place, you start to lose audiences because they're like, I don't know what's going on anymore. There's too many characters. Every character has a weird name. Jod Nana Wood. Jod Nana Wood is the name of Jude Law in Skeleton Crew. It's difficult to remember these things. Streamline those, and you'll have an idea. But the budget, you got to keep the budget down. Mandalorian Grogu, I keep saying this. This movie is going to be a massive hit. It might not make $1 billion. It might not even make $800 million. It might make $600 million. But it's going to be a massive hit because it's only going to cost the studio 110 or 120 million. It's going to make that opening weekend within the first week, maybe second week. It's going to make that quickly. It's going to be a big hit because the budget is low. Maintain lower budgets. Lower doesn't mean it has to look cheaper. It has to be written cheaper. It doesn't have bad acting. But keep the cost effective, whatever that phrase is. You keep it there. It doesn't need to be $300 million. Endgame, I don't think, costs $300 million. So it's a little bit ridiculous when they go that far in a Disney Plus show. That's 8 episodes and a half hour each. and the sets look fake. Stranger was good. I think you bring the Stranger back, but that's a video for another day. But these are my thoughts. I think you have to streamline it, one, like a singular vision ish, right? Because I mean, it's never going to be a singular vision. There's going to be creative. There's going to be not creative. There's going to be shareholder, whatever involved. But you have someone be like, this is our plan. You have to come up with a plan that everybody agrees on. Within that plan, there can be pockets that kind of deviate and do what they want within it, but you're in that plan. And if you have like Sean Levy coming in, he's like, I want to do a Star Wars movie that takes place 5,000 years in the future or 10,000 years in the past, whatever it is. Okay, this is your rule book of Star Wars. That's your rule book. Stick to the rule book. Star Wars needs a filmmaker creative Bible for whoever's involved. And maybe give it to all the shareholders and stockholders and Bob Iger and people that are making decisions. Be like, this, we have to follow this. If we don't follow this, that's not it. And right in the middle of it is the Skywalker saga, which I hate that, but the Skywalker crap is in the middle. Start with the origins, guess the Skywalker, and then you just go. Yeah, all roads lead to Skywalker, and all stuff from the Skywalker leads out. It's a funnel, right? That's at the hourglass. You're in the middle of the hourglass of the Skywalker, and you can funnel it down, funnel it out. But once you have your plan for 5 years, 10 years, I think 5 years is a safe bet. You do 5 years, whatever you want in there. You just do whatever you want. You can make it work, make it fun. It's a good time. That's Star Wars. Star Wars, it doesn't need a lot for saving. You need to bring fans back in. You need to, I said it last week, don't focus on new fans. Focus on the fans you have. The fans you have will bring in the new fans. The material itself, high quality stories, is what's going to bring people into Star Wars. But it has to stay Star Wars. When you deviate from your themes, from your lore, from your mythology, that's when you start to lose old fans. And I said this last week, when you bring new fans in that are into the new stuff, that doesn't tonally represent what Star Wars is, the old fans get mad. The new fans are in. Then you give them something that is totally in line with Star Wars. The old fans are like, well, I've lost interest with you. And the new fans are like, well, what's this? This isn't what I signed up for. That's not my Star. That's not what my Star Wars. That's not what I liked in the last one. I'm out of here. Well, why would I want to watch that? I want to watch this thing that I liked.
We get home safe, Pistol.
You got it, Jobin.
And then they leave. And then all of a sudden, what do you got? What do you got? It's just me on the camera talking out of my butt, like Ace Ventura. That's my video on how to save Star Wars. I don't know if any of it would work. I am not a producer at Lucasfilm, but if you want to hire me, do it. I'll take a paycheck. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. How would you save Star Wars? Give us a like, hit the subscribe button, ding that bell. See you next time, everybody. May the force of others, appreciate you watching, be with you.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.